Everyone, today is the final pre-show.
There's no way.
The last ever pre-show. At least for the reboot, anyway.
What's that?
It has been the craziest ride. No, I mean really. People do not lie when they say 2020 has had the highest of highs and the lowest of lows.
Sometimes maybe good, sometimes maybe
Baba Booey.
An emotional roller coaster, completely opposite opinions of the same episode in my comments every single week. But I feel like the Digimon Adventure has extended further through the screen and into our lifestyles. I feel like this has been our adventure.
You are my best friend. If I'm dying, you dying with me.
From being stalked by somebody with multiple accounts for linking the reference book, to being abused in the comments, and getting into battle with Digimon Central and the Digino against the fraudulent toy animation. We've really been through it. We've been through it. And before we get into the pre-show of episode 67, when I've changed anything, absolutely not. Welcome to the pre-show. Today we can't do a great deal of theorizing. We can't do a great deal of speculation. But what we can do is fun, geeking out and having a good time. Enjoy the video. Now let's talk about the main thing on everyone's lips when it comes to episode 67, Omegamon Alter-S. Now, it was teased a very long time ago with the release of the Digivice for 2020, and well, a lot of what the Digivices predicted ended up coming true, but not in the ways that we predicted it would happen. Blitzgreymon, Crestgrumon, Omegamon Alter-S. Some were great, some were not so great, but we don't know if it was really needed yet. People are thinking, actually, maybe Blitzgreymon and Crestgrumon will not make another appearance in the final episode. Maybe Omegamon will just mode shift or form change to Omegamon Alter-S. And while considering, many of you have discovered that the Alter-S in Omegamon Alter-S is a reference to Alteros and Sagittarius, when we had Omegamon formed by just Greymon and Garurumon, when we didn't have Metal Garurumon and War Greymon, what was the need for Blitzgreymon and Crestgrumon? I guess an Easter egg lays some kind of thin wafer foundation for Alter-S. But then if the Alter-S is referring to Alteros and Sagittarius, look, I get the heads of Crestgrumon and Blitzgreymon are on the arms of Omegamon Alter-S, but again, we had Omegamon with the heads of War Greymon and Metal Garurumon before we had War Greymon and Metal Garurumon. So it's very strange if they don't include Blitzgreymon and Crestgrumon. To be quite honest, there is no time for Blitzgreymon and Crestgrumon anymore. So if they don't include them, it was basically a complete waste of time. But I don't think Omegamon Alter-S would be a waste of time, because it's a new miracle brought about by the Chosen Ones being around. So, but based, what about the circumstances of which Omegamon Alter-S would come about? Because it seems as though Omegamon is having no trouble against Abadomon, at least from the last episode, literally not moving and blowing a hole in its forehead. This has been a burning question that I have answered in many different ways on this channel since Omegamon Alter-S was announced in the Digivice. For me, I thought Omegamon was going to be beaten, they'd revert back to Agumon and Gabumon, they would warp Shinka back into Blitzgreymon, Crestgrumon, and then make Omegamon again, and then win that way, and beat down a worn out Abadomon. This doesn't look like it's going to be the case. The preview seems to be the majority of it, taken up by happy scenes and victory scenes and a victory lap. So how long is this fight going to be? I don't think very long. I'm not sure if there's any time to deviate from the battle, to go back down to Agumon, to go back into Blitzgreymon, to go back into Omegamon Alter-S. I just don't think there's a time for that. So it seems like Omegamon mode change to Alter-S is going to be the way forward. And that's fine, in my opinion. But based, why would they use Alter-S over Omegamon? Well, maybe, you know.
bruh, 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 bruh.
I have been hunted down to the ends of the earth for saying this, but in the Digimon reference book, Omegamon Alter-S is just a variation of Omegamon, and it said that they are equal in strength. I also made this very clear months and months ago. This can be retconned, but I don't think it will be. It is purely because of the variation that type of variation will have some kind of advantage over Abadomon. If we're using Crestgrumon, maybe that version of Omegamon Alter-S is capable of hitting things that couldn't ordinarily be hit. A bit like Zambamon. You know from that episode, like the Metal Garurumon and War Greymon couldn't touch it, but Crestgrumon could. Maybe they're going to apply that over Omegamon Alter-S. I wouldn't actually mind that, to be honest. So yes, that will be interesting to see how they handle Omegamon Alter-S, or if they even do it at all. But I really think they will. I think they just kept it under wraps. And if you actually refer to the episode title leaks video one last time, one more ride. The episode 67 synopsis states the following: only the children of the world believe in Omegamon's victory to defeat the evil enemy. The wishes of the chosen children who carry endless potential, as well as their Digimon partners, bring about another miracle for Omegamon. So the word in particular being another, and these translations aren't always super pinpoint accurate, but it does feel like this takes place after Omegamon has already went inside of Bardamon's main body. So I do think Omegamon Alter-S is likely at the very end. But nevertheless, from the episode preview, we have some of the images of Omegamon inside of the main body of Bardamon, next to what I presume to be this Bardamon humanoid core. It kind of seems like they're going to do in episode 3, like with Argamon, kind of this whole spherical area, which is completely covered in eyeballs, which is coming full circle, but I kind of wanted a bit more of a grandiose spectacle in that infinite void against the huge body of a Bardamon. I might have preferred that a little bit more. It feels a bit too confined, and again, I get it's a reference to our war game. Again, I get it's a reference to episode 3. I don't know, it depends how they handle this, to be honest. But also onto the other chosen ones. I knew for a fact they would not be out of commission from last episode. I said this a few weeks ago when I seen the synopses about the chosen ones being removed, and people were saying they're going to be sidelined. Obviously they weren't, they warped, evolved back into Mega. I do think that other Megas will have a bit more to do in the next episode, but just not a lot more, because they want to emphasize Omegamon Alter-S. I think primarily, after all, they're trying to make money. But as far as I'm concerned, as long as the other Megas help out in some ways in this battle, then I don't think anyone's really going to have a problem with that. We even see the Woodland Digimon, maybe other Digimon friends I've met along the way like Leomon and Lopmon, who knows. We also see Commandomon, the MVP of the series, and without a shadow of a doubt, saved the digital world, no debating. So that just tells me a lot of the second half of Digimon Adventure 2020 episode 67 is going to be more of a feel good, a celebration, maybe a happy ending. Which is what tells me the fight against Bardamon isn't going to be the longest thing ever, and if other characters have moments, they're going to be very short but sweet moments. And to be quite honest, I would rather with the ending of 2020 be a bit more open-ended, like don't mull over too much how the chosen ones got back to the real world or what happened with the partners next. I'd rather leave it open-ended, because then you can kind of just pick up where you left off if they choose to do a sequel to the reboot. We even have a quick snippet of the Digitama hatching, which is what I believe to be Botamon, but real. I'm assuming that isn't Agumon. And something else that's kind of like nice and noteworthy is the orange outline around the Chosen and Taiji and Agumon. I love that detail a lot because that's very our wargame-esque. Some great aesthetics, some great action, some great OSTs, some great moments, everyone contributing, and a happy ending is what we need. But everyone, that's kind of all I have to say on the preview for the next episode. In this pre-show, I just hope they do it well. Let's just end 2020 on a high note, lay it to rest for a bit, move on to Digimon Ghost Game. Then when Ghost Game finishes and we haven't got any of the series to go through, we can come back and look at the reboot and think, yeah, it was a good time. But I wanted to take this time to ask you guys something. I started these pre-shows kind of halfway through the series, thinking, yeah, I want another kind of different bit of content to upload during the week. So I want to ask you, do you think I should continue the pre-show into Digimon Ghost Game? You know, does the adventure really have to end? Let me know in the comments. But yes, this concludes the pre-show. I'm sure I'll have much more to say after episode 67 is over. But bearing in mind, I will touch on the reboot once again, even after episode 67, because it's going to be hard to collect all of my thoughts on the episode and the entire series as a whole, retrospectively, in one sit-down session. But please let me know what you're expecting from this week's episode, the grand finale of the reboot. What do you want to see the most? What are you hoping they don't do? What do you want them to avoid doing? Let me know, we'll talk about it. But thank you for tuning in to Digimon Adventure 2020 episode 67 pre-show, the final one of this series. And it has quite literally been an adventure with you and I. If you made it to the end of the video, thank you for being with me all this time throughout all of the pre-shows. I really appreciate your support, but most importantly, take care.